Good morning. Welcome to the programme and thanks for joining us today. It's been a really busy night of breaking news. We're going to start with the terrible attack in Canada because at least 9 people have been killed and 25 injured in 2 shootings that took place at a school and also a nearby home in British Columbia. So those 2 shootings are believed to be connected.
The suspect is also dead and was found with self-inflicted gun wounds. A public alert sent to phones during the emergency described the shooter as a woman in a dress with brown hair. School shootings are incredibly rare in Canada. This is the worst one for some 35 years.
So it all took place in a really remote part of Canada. It's in the east of British Columbia in a town called Tumbler Ridge. So that is more than 600 miles north of Vancouver, just to put it in context for you. And it has a population of around 2,400 people.
It's hard to know what to say on a night like tonight. This is the kind of thing that feels like it happens in other places and not close to home in a way that that this feels for so many British Columbians and Canadians.
Now, this is a tragic situation, but we know what he meant. This sounds like it happens in the United States. Got to call it how it is.
The devastation these families face, it's just impossible to understand what they're going through without going through it yourself. But I can say for myself, and I'm sure for many British Columbians, many Canadians, it makes us think about our kids' safety when they're going to school. We take it for granted. You go to school, you come home safe. And events like this give us pause about that safety that many Canadians have the privilege to enjoy across this country.
Molly's with us now. Molly, this obviously happened late evening or late afternoon, early evening in British Columbia time, earlier hours for us. What other reaction have we had so far?
Well, it's been described as one of the country's deadliest shooting incidents, and much rarer in Canada than they are in, say, the United States, for example, and the worst school shooting in more than 35 years. So a pretty rare thing what's happened. We know that 10 people have died, including the suspect who was found dead with a self-inflicted gun wound. 6 people were found dead inside the school. 1 victim died on their way to hospital and 2 others were found dead in a nearby property, which is believed by authorities to be connected to connected incidents. Police say they have identified the suspect, but they haven't yet named them. A public alert that was sent to people's phones described the shooter as a woman in a dress with brown hair, but that's as much as we know at the moment. They haven't yet given the details of what's believed to be the possible motive or how the shooter, the attacker, was connected potentially to any of the victims.
Now, I don't know the stats, but having a woman school shooter, I think that's very rare, but I might be wrong, so tell me if I am.
And
so we think that we don't know that it's a female shooter. That hasn't been confirmed, but we've just got this alert that's
been sent to people's phones. It's been suggested that, yeah, they haven't yet given further details about what they know. And we know as well that 25 other people were injured, some of them much more serious than others. Now, the Prime Minister, Mark Carney, has suspended his trip to the Munich Security Conference. He was supposed to be heading there. We've had a statement from him who said, "We're devastated by today's horrific shootings in Tumbler Ridge. My prayers and deepest condolences are with the families and friends who have lost loved ones to these horrific acts of violence. I join Canadians in grieving with those whose lives have been changed irreversibly today and in gratitude for the courage and selflessness of the first responders who risked their lives to protect their fellow citizens." The mayor of the town as well saying that he broke down when he heard about what's happened. He's lived there. It's a small, pretty remote town. He's lived there for 18 years and saying it's a really close-knit community and that he probably knew every one of the victims. So some really shocking news coming out of Canada overnight.
Indeed, Molly, great stuff. Thanks so much.
It's a tragic situation, a very tragic situation. But it goes to show, without the access to guns the United States has, these tragic scenes can happen anywhere, absolutely anywhere. Let's go over into this next video and see what else we can find out. Let's jump into it.
All right, now we turn to breaking news out of Canada overnight. At least 9 people have been killed and dozens more injured in shootings at a high school and a home in British Columbia. Authorities say the suspected shooter was found dead at the school from a self-inflicted injury.
Right now, information is very limited as police do their work, and the RCMP has asked for patience.
The people of Tumbler Ridge remain in a state of crisis following one of the worst mass shootings in our province's and country's history.
CBS News foreign correspondent Rami Inocencio joins us with more on this out of London. Good morning, Rami. This is a rare occurrence in Canada. What more do we know about what happened?
Figure out the why for these shootings that are pretty much as rare for Canada as they are tragically common for our viewers across the United States. And we've got new video of people, many of them students, leaving that school, Tumbler Ridge Secondary. You can see they're holding their hands up over their head, walking in single file. Seeing this earlier, some of them actually ran once they got clear of the building. But these shootings have left this small town, the latest census, about 2,400 people, shocked and reeling. Tumbler Ridge is about 600 miles north of Vancouver, to try to put it to some point that people might know more. Here in this town, everyone probably knows everyone here. At this high school, there were only about 160, 170 students. But police say they reached the school within 2 minutes of the first emergency call yesterday afternoon. Inside, they found victims in the halls and in the classrooms. And based on police reports, this is the breakdown. 6 were confirmed dead inside the school. 1 person died on the way to the hospital. And then at a home nearby, 2 more people were then found dead. And police believe that this home is linked to those attacks. Investigators say that the suspected shooter was a woman in a brown dress, found dead inside the school from what they call a self-inflicted injury. But as you expect, people there, the residents are just broken. The mayor of this town said he broke down. A pastor there said that walking the corridors of that school will never be the same again. And the premier of BC, of British Columbia, said that this is causing all of us to hug our kids a little bit tighter tonight. And that school and the only elementary school in that town are closed for the rest of this week.
This is a tragic situation. What could drive a woman to shoot up a school and then take her own life? Now, of course, we'll go into the AI breakdown just to see if they give us any more information we might have missed. So it happened at leaving 10 people dead on February 10th, 2026. A total of 9 victims were killed. 6 were found dead at the school. 1 died while being transported to the hospital, and 2 others were found at the local residence. At least 25 to 27 people were injured. 2 victims were airlifted to the hospital in critical or life-threatening conditions. The suspected shooter was found dead at the school from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. They said a female in a dress with brown hair. Police have stated the identity of the shooter, but have not publicly released the name or motive. It's a close-knit town with around 2,400 people in the northeastern BC. Secondary school has approximately 160 to 175 students. And it's a tragic situation. They say this attack is the deadliest school shooting in Canada since 1989. In Montreal, where 14 women were killed. It ranked as the 3rd deadliest mass shooting in the country's history. Following the 2020 Novus attack, 22 people were killed in the 1989 massacre. Absolutely crazy. Deadliest school shooting since 1989, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It's a tragic situation, absolutely tragic.